If you only live in the city or spend your life moving around familiar neighborhoods, then chances are you will never see with your own eyes the massive creatures that truly exist in this world. A catfish so large that an entire village has to hold it together. A snake weighing hundreds of pounds lifted straight out of the Amazon by a helicopter. Lobsters nearly the size of an elementary school child. It sounds insane. It even sounds like made-up internet stories. But every image you are about to see has existed in real life, captured on video, in photographs, and through eyewitness accounts.
In today's video, Mystery Files has compiled the most shocking cases involving giant creatures, from the deepest oceans to tropical rainforests, and even places that feel strangely familiar. Watch this video all the way through. I guarantee that by the end, you will realize one thing. The world out there is far bigger and far stranger than we ever imagined.
Wait a second. Is that thing hanging under the helicopter really a snake? The footage you are watching opens with a helicopter flying low along a winding river deep inside the South American rainforest. Below it hangs a massive cargo net, stretched tight, carrying a long, heavy creature that appears to pull the aircraft slightly off balance. As the camera moves closer, a familiar shape becomes clear. A thick, coiled body covered in dark scales, folded into multiple loops. This is unmistakably a giant snake. Based on the scale between the creature and the helicopter, many viewers attempted to estimate its size. Some analyses suggest the snake could be over 30 to 33 feet long, with a body diameter far larger than that of a typical adult anaconda. Its estimated weight may exceed 900 to 1,100 pounds, enough to explain why the helicopter maintained low altitude and limited speed. According to descriptions circulating with the video, the incident reportedly took place somewhere in the Amazon basin, the natural habitat of the green anaconda, the heaviest snake species in the world today. Under ideal conditions with minimal human presence, abundant food, and a stable environment, anacondas can continue growing for many years. Still, the size seen in this footage appears to exceed officially recorded data.
What makes this even more unsettling is that this is not the only video of its kind online. Similar footage has surfaced repeatedly over the years, which raises a disturbing question. Are there giant creatures being captured or removed from the Amazon that the public is never officially told about?
There are things you only need to see once to know something is wrong, and this creature is one of them. When a massive shark-like sea creature was washed onto an Australian beach, the entire area erupted into chaos. Locals pulled over their cars, tourists froze in place, and I had to replay the clip several times just to make sure my eyes weren't playing tricks on me. The size alone was overwhelming. Estimates suggest the creature was nearly 60 feet long, far larger than any shark normally seen near shore. Its skin appeared thick, rough, and hardened, unlike any familiar marine species. Researchers arrived quickly, measuring, photographing, and recording footage. But what unsettled people most was what they did not say. No species name, no confirmation, no denial. And that silence is what made the story explode. Online, many began comparing the creature to ancient sea legends. Some suggested it could be the remains of a prehistoric species believed to be extinct. Others questioned whether it had ever been documented by modern science at all. Images and videos spread rapidly, each frame raising more questions. If this was just a rare individual, then what else might the ocean be hiding at depths humans have never reached? And if this was not the only one, then perhaps we have only seen the surface of a much larger truth. I came across this fascinating video online. While it appears to be staged, it still portrays a meaningful rescue of a giant creature. The event did not begin as a rescue, but as an unusual discovery. While patrolling at sea, a crew noticed a massive shape floating just beneath the surface, barely moving. At first, they assumed it was drifting debris or a dead animal, but as they moved closer, they realized it was a giant octopus, still alive, but severely exhausted. The creature's body was covered in marine debris. Ropes, fishing nets, plastic fragments, and unidentified objects were tightly wrapped around its tentacles. Some areas of its skin showed abrasions and heavy buildup, signs that it had been trapped in polluted waters for a long time. Observers believed the octopus no longer had the strength to dive or free itself.
A decision was made quickly. The rescue team carefully lifted the creature onto the deck. They even used a helicopter and netting to assist with moving it.
As the debris was gradually removed, the true size of the creature became clear. Thick, massive tentacles stretched across the deck, making the human figures beside it seem insignificant. This was no ordinary specimen. Experts later suggested it was likely a fully grown giant Pacific octopus, already the largest octopus species known. Once the pollution and debris were removed, the octopus began showing signs of recovery. Its tentacles regained movement. Its motions stabilized. When the team was confident it could survive, they released it back into the ocean. There was no panic, no resistance, just a slow movement, and then the massive body vanished into the dark water.
These images are not only striking, they serve as a warning. This creature was not injured by a predator. It was weakened by human impact. And if such a large, intelligent animal can become trapped like this, then how many others have never been seen and never had a chance to return to the deep?
You might think Antarctica is nothing but ice, wind, and silence. But this footage suggests we may have underestimated it. Military personnel stationed in Antarctica captured images of a creature that stunned the entire survey team. At first glance, it resembled a polar bear. But seconds later, other details became apparent. Its elongated body, low movement across the ice, and skin structure reminded many of a crocodile. The creature moved slowly, yet each step felt heavy and controlled, as if it had adapted to this harsh environment long ago. Antarctica has only been explored in small portions. Vast areas remain largely unstudied. Because of this, the footage immediately raised serious questions. How could such a hybrid creature survive? How does it hunt? And most importantly, is it alone? Online, some claim it is the result of natural mutation in extreme conditions. Others believe it could be an ancient species adapted to ice for millions of years. Whatever the truth, the footage reminds us of one thing. Even the emptiest places on Earth may still be hiding. Creatures science is not ready to face.
Look at the size of that thing. That is the first reaction most people have when they see this video.
A massive centipede, nearly as long as a village road, dozens of legs spread wide, with children standing nearby for scale, making the scene look unreal. But let's slow down and look at the facts. In nature, the largest confirmed centipede species is the Amazonian giant centipede, Scolopendra gigantea. It is the largest centipede species alive today. Its maximum confirmed length is about 12 to 14 inches, with extremely rare individuals approaching 16 inches. That is already the biological limit. Even under perfect conditions, they cannot grow anywhere near the multi-foot length shown in viral videos. What makes these clips so terrifying is camera angle, perspective, and lack of proper scale. When a creature is placed close to the lens, filmed from a low angle, combined with mud, lighting, and people standing far in the background, the human brain exaggerates size. Many videos also use AI, CGI, or visual effects, especially common on short-form platforms. That said, giant centipedes are far from harmless. Amazonian centipedes are formidable predators. They can hunt rodents, small birds, lizards, and even bats, using venom strong enough to subdue prey quickly. At their real size, encountering one in the wild is already enough to terrify most people.
So if you are wondering whether meter-long centipedes exist, the honest answer is no scientific evidence supports that. But the real takeaway is this: even at their actual size, nature does not need exaggeration. It is already frightening enough.
Now you are looking at a massive catfish lying in the middle of a river. Its body so long that dozens of people stand on both sides holding ropes tightly wrapped around it. If you only glanced at this for a few seconds, you might believe this is a previously unknown giant catfish species, something science has not yet named. But once again, this video is AI generated. So what about real life? The largest confirmed freshwater catfish is the Mekong giant catfish. The largest recorded specimen weighed around 660 pounds and measured just over 10 feet long. Even at that size, only a few people are needed to restrain it, not an entire line of villagers. Catfish stretching tens of feet and weighing so much that whole villages must hold them have never existed in any scientific record.
Videos like this are appearing more frequently, almost as if they are testing the limits of human imagination.
Now we move to a beach along the Chinese coastline, reportedly in an eastern coastal region where marine strandings are frequently recorded due to shifting currents and extreme weather. At the time of filming, the beach was crowded. Then, amid gentle waves, a massive, translucent, soft-bodied organism was pushed directly onto shore. From a distance, many assumed it was industrial waste or a deflated rubber structure. But as people approached, its true form became clear. A dome-shaped body, swollen and smooth, with thick, fleshy lobes hanging beneath, gently moving with the waves. No scales, no bones, no rigid structure. Everything about it resembled a jellyfish, but on a scale far beyond what people are used to. Based on nearby human scale, the main body diameter may have reached 8 to 10 feet, with an estimated weight of several hundred pounds, leaving the creature completely helpless once stranded. Some frames show the lower lobes slightly contracting, suggesting it was not fully dead at the time of recording.
Many observers believe it could be a giant jellyfish from the Rhizostomi group, known for large bodies, short tentacles, and lobed structures. In recent years, Nomura's jellyfish have been recorded in East Asian waters, with diameters approaching 6 feet and weights exceeding 440 pounds. Under adverse conditions like pollution, temperature shifts, or strong currents, such individuals can be forced from deep waters and washed ashore.
Not every shocking creature needs to be a sea monster or something crawling out of the jungle. Sometimes it stands in plain sight, in a small American town, looking completely normal, until you look up. In Goodwater, Alabama, a bull named Pancho Villa quietly became a legend. What made it famous was not its weight or height, but its unbelievable horns. When officially measured in May 2019, the results stunned everyone present. The distance between the horn tips exceeded 10 feet. From afar, the horns looked like enormous wings spread wide. I am serious. Without people standing nearby for scale, you would assume the image was edited. But it was real. When Pancho Villa walked, the horns nearly enveloped its entire body, creating a sight both majestic and surreal. That measurement secured its place in history, becoming a living symbol of how nature does not always, obey the limits humans expect. And it reminds us that the most shocking things are not always hidden in darkness. Sometimes they stand right in front of us, in broad daylight, in a quiet town. There are moments at sea when everyone falls silent at once. This was one of them. A research group offshore captured footage of a massive great white shark passing directly beneath their boat. Estimates place its length around 14 feet, larger than most great whites recorded in the area. When that enormous shadow appeared beneath the surface, conversations stopped. Laughter vanished. Only silence remained, along with a chill down the spine. Great white sharks are apex predators, built for speed and near-silent movement. Their skin reduces drag, and their senses can detect the faintest vibrations from great distances. What made this footage terrifying was not just size, but movement. No sound, no rush. It glided past as if the boat did not exist. Even the host admitted that after that moment, entering the water was no longer an option. The footage led scientists to seriously question how many large predators may still live near human activity, and how many even larger ones remain hidden in deeper waters. If the great white represents a familiar fear, this creature makes humans feel absolutely insignificant. During a deep dive, divers unexpectedly encountered a giant fin squid, one of the most mysterious creatures ever documented. This species typically lives at depths beyond 4,000 feet, where light barely exists and pressure can crush most life forms. The individual in the footage was estimated to reach 21 feet in length, with an elongated body, large fins running along its sides, and massive tentacles drifting silently in the darkness. Unlike the aggressive portrayals seen in movies, the fin squid moves slowly, almost hovering. Yet that calmness makes it even more unsettling. Scientists believe the wide fins help conserve energy in extreme conditions, while its large eyes capture the faintest light.
Because live encounters are extremely rare, each sighting carries significant scientific value. This footage shocks not only because of size, but because it reminds us that the deep ocean remains a largely unknown world, where creatures beyond imagination still exist and observe us from the dark.
In 2012, in the state of Maine, a giant lobster brought ashore stunned the entire American seafood industry, not because of color or deformity, but because its size exceeded anything most people had ever seen. The lobster weighed approximately 44 pounds, 4 to 5 times larger than a typical adult lobster. When photos were published, many assumed it was fake or edited, but it was completely real. Biologists explain that lobsters are among the few animals with no fixed growth limit. If they avoid fishing, disease, and predators, they can continue growing for decades, possibly over a century. Some studies suggest lobsters have potential lifespans exceeding 100 years. The longer they live, the larger and rarer they become. Interestingly, this lobster was not sold or displayed as a record. After examination and documentation, it was released back into the ocean. The reason was simple. Experts believed such unusually large individuals have extremely high biological and genetic value. They serve as living proof that ancient creatures still exist beyond human notice.
And if one lobster can live long enough to reach that size, it raises the question of how many other creatures are quietly growing in the depths, simply because humans have never found them.
Unlike the 44-pound lobster that shocked with size, this specimen fascinated scientists with its color. Electric blue lobsters are among the rarest variations ever recorded, with odds estimated at about 1 in 2 million. When a large electric blue lobster was discovered in the US and Canada, images quickly spread through news outlets, and biological museums. The blue coloration is not caused by environment, but by a pigment mutation. Instead of the usual brownish red, the protein structure in their shell reflects light differently, creating a vivid blue appearance. Remarkably, despite the rare mutation, these lobsters are fully healthy, grow normally, and show no signs of weakness. Scientists view this as clear evidence that mutations are not always negative. Sometimes, nature is simply experimenting. Electric blue lobsters gain no clear survival advantage, but suffer no disadvantage either. They exist as a reminder that biodiversity is far richer than what humans commonly encounter.
And when a creature combines rare coloration with large size, it instantly becomes a symbol of the unusual, yet entirely real side of the natural world.
Without a human for scale, many people would think the Japanese spider crab is an alien. With a leg span reaching nearly 12 feet, it is the largest arthropod species known to exist today. Footage from divers and aquariums shows that when these crabs move, their long, thin legs extend like a massive skeletal frame. They live in deep waters around Japan, where pressure is high and temperatures are low. This stable environment is believed to allow them to grow to extreme sizes. Scientifically, Japanese spider crabs are a living example of deep-sea gigantism. In environments with fewer predators and less variation, some species grow beyond typical limits. What makes them unsettling is not behavior, since they are slow and mostly scavengers, but their form, which clashes with human aesthetics.
Standing beside humans, Japanese spider crabs make familiar body proportions meaningless. They resemble creatures from a prehistoric era, reminding us that the ocean still preserves life forms shaped long before humans ever existed.
Among African elephants, only a few individuals are known as tuskers. These are elephants with massive tusks, each weighing over 100 pounds and long enough to nearly touch the ground. Drone footage and conservation photography show tusks of nearly unbelievable scale. Biologically, tuskers are not a separate species, but the result of rare genetics combined with extreme longevity. The longer an elephant lives, the larger its tusks grow. But that has made them prime targets for poaching for decades. As a result, confirmed living tuskers today can be counted on one hand. Scientists consider each remaining tusker a living genetic archive. They represent what elephants were like before widespread human interference. When a tusker disappears, it is not just the loss of one animal, but the loss of a biological potential that may never return.
Footage of tuskers is therefore not just visually shocking, but deeply urgent. It is not an image of something thriving, but of something slowly disappearing.
Giraffes are already the tallest land animals on Earth. But in rare cases, researchers have documented individuals reaching nearly 20 feet tall, far exceeding typical biological norms. Drone footage shows such individuals towering over their herds, as if existing on an entirely different level. Experts believe this phenomenon results from a combination of dominant genes and growth mutations. Not all mutations are harmful. Some simply push biological limits further. However, extreme height also carries risks, including increased cardiovascular strain and higher injury potential. What makes these recordings so striking is the sense of imbalance they create. Viewed from above, humans truly grasp the size difference between themselves and animals they thought they understood. It is not a monster, not aggressive, not deformed, just too large. And that reality, being too large yet completely real, makes these giraffes one of the clearest examples that nature still exceeds every boundary humans try to set.
After seeing all this, if you think these things only exist online, you may want to think again. So which creature in this video do you believe is the most real? Or are there even bigger ones being kept hidden out there?
Leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to Mystery Files, because what comes next might be even crazier.